All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out my channel. So what I want to get into today is leather coats. I think every dude should have a leather coat. I don't care who you are. I love them. I grew up with them. I don't know anything that looks, I think, better on a dude. I mean, I get a sport coat and a suit. It looks really stylized. But if you have the right leather coat, and it conforms to your body correctly, I just think it's dope, man. It is a beast. And the one I'm wearing here, this is a fluke because I used to have a lot of different leather coats throughout my life. I had full-length leathers, three-quarters, and everything in between. I used to like collecting leather coats, mainly black and gray. I used to get them a lot for gifts. My mother would give them to me, and family members were a lot of them were in the garment and fashion industry. My uncle even designed me and our family members leather coats. So, but I was kind of looking for a sport coat slash vintage slash leather coat, and I was in Encinitas, California, and I saw one at a consignment store called Well Suited. I go there, which is an affiliate of my sister's closet. I walked in there. I saw it. It was priceless to me. It was mint. This is the one I'm wearing. I've had this for at least now. It's got to be 9-10 years, and it is still gorgeous. This piece, I think, would have at least been, in my opinion, even in its day, it had to be at least $1,500 coat. It's still, I mean, I've never worn anything probably more than I've worn this, traveling all throughout North America. This thing has got hundreds of thousands of miles on it. If I don't dress in like a three-piece suit or a two-piece suit or sport coat or whatever, I always wear this coat, usually with a turtleneck. What I loved about this coat is the durability. It's got two pockets here. It also has two pockets in here. The lining on it and the collar on it, I didn't have to have it tailored. I swear, I walked in, I saw it. I think I would have paid $1,000 for it. I wouldn't have cared. I just wanted it. I saw it, loved it, put it on, and I mean, it's just my thing. Now, I even had a bunch of other leather coats that I had that I ended up giving them all away. I didn't even want them in new ones. I even gave them my buddies would borrow them, and I'd say keep them. I've got the coat I want. If you find the right leather coat for you, I'm just telling you, and you can have as many as you want. And I've had numerous amounts. It's going to, I think, for me, I don't know what it is. When I put a leather coat on, though, I get a lot of people, then all of a sudden I kind of look like a gangster type kid, maybe because it's the way I look. I don't know. People say you put the leather on, you look this way. You put this type of clothing on, you look that way, and I get that with me. But if you're somebody who's kind of like, and I live in Florida, so believe me, it's not like I'm wearing this leather in Florida. But I can wear it basically anywhere else in the country, not during summer, but for probably 9 months of the year. They're so not only great when you travel. If you got a great looking leather, you can almost go anywhere with it. I just went to, my grandmother passed away. I went to a wake, and I'm kind of sick of wearing suits. I go through these phases, or even sport coats. I'm sick of looking like I have to be in a sport coat or a suit and tie, whatever the case may be. I get exhausted. So I actually went and I polished my coat. I said, you know what, let me go get some polish. I haven't polished it. It's kind of pretty shiny right now. It still looks mint. My pockets, I don't know how old it was originally. I don't care, and I don't know how long it'll last me. I hope forever. I polished it up, and it looked mint. My mother was kind of upset. So I wore this with actually a very similar white dress shirt. If you know anything about me, I always tell people, just invest in the white dress shirt. It could be a cufflink one style like this, and I just fold it over, or just a button up. But the white is always going to pop, as you can kind of tell right here. It's popping. Boom, the white shirt. You can see it. If I went black on black, you'd barely see the shirt, right? But a lot of times I wear a black turtleneck with this. It looks really cool. I wore it to the wake, and most of my family members, there was a lot of us there. They were all looked great, suit, tie. I get it, and all that. I wore this, and it was just something. It was a statement piece. I was just like, and a lot of people were shocked that I wore it, but I think a lot of people liked that I wore it, and I wanted to wear it because it was freezing out, and I just felt stiff, and I just wanted to wear something different. But you can wear this. Basically is what I'm saying. Obviously not to a wedding or a baptism or christening, something high level like that. But I'll tell you, if you go on a date, you go to a dinner party, you go to any party. If I went to parties in LA, I don't care if they were in New York, in Canada, or I go anywhere, for the most part, if I had a nice dress shirt underneath it, and a lot of times I wear a vest under this as well, I should say, if I'm not wearing a turtleneck, I have a vest. And, which I got to do a video on a vest, that's right. So, it looks spectacular. But here's the other thing, too. There's a difference between leather coats. So this leather coat looks like a sport coat. Again, you can wear a vest, a shirt. I don't even have to take it off during dinner. If you do get a leather coat, that's what I'd recommend. I think what happens a lot of times is people go with like a trendy leather coat, or even could be, something that you look like it's kind of awkward to be wearing sitting down at dinner is what I should say. It's just a coat, if that makes sense. So definitely something to think about there. And, my buddies, they used to race motorcycles and stuff. They got some really dope leather coats, man. I mean, those are maybe some of the coolest coats I've ever seen. But when you kind of get caught, too, sometimes wearing a certain type of leather, I think that doesn't fit your personality or your identity. And again, you can dress any way you want. But if you're going to wear a hardcore, say, motorcycle leather coat, it could be a Harley. And again, you can wear whatever you want. I don't want to, you could dress any way you want, I'm not saying. But I realize, say, those guys, they drive those crotch rockets or whatever the hell they call them. Those dudes, like, I would have loved to wear one of those, but I'm like, I don't drive motorcycles. I'm going to look like a douchebag here, right? Same with a Harley. I'm not a Harley guy. I'm not going to walk around with a Harley. Same with, say, a Western style, which sometimes those look really cool. They got all the stuff hanging on them and stuff, but I'm not an outdoors guy or a cowboy or none of that, whatever you call that. I just make sure, just pay attention that your leather coat kind of is an expression of who you are. It matches your identity or something that you may want to be or inspire to be too. Something to really think about. And, if you do drive a motorcycle or whatever the hell, what's kind of cool about a leather coat is, I always say your clothes is your armor, right? I've heard that. Where did I hear that from? Tom Ford, I think, said that originally, but it's true. But a leather coat, like, it's really dirt, like, to your body. You can bump into things and hit things, and it's just very strong. It doesn't rip. It's not like like if you have a suit or a sport coat, the ripping, the fabric's getting destroyed. They're just so strong, especially if you're carrying a backpack or a bag, or you travel getting in and out of a car. If you've watched any of my other previous videos, you're going to probably see me in this coat. They're just durable as hell, and you can get, like I just said, I got this actually for a deal. I think it was $70, maybe the best deal I've ever had. There was another sport coat I brought, a Xenia coat that was just as unbelievable of a deal. But a lot of times I tell people, buy these leather coats when they're not in season, all right? And because a lot of times you could, like right after winter, right after Christmas, around February, March, or even April, May, they start to go on sale. More and more and more. And you'll start to see leather coats that were $300, $400, $500 going down to, I just saw it in Chicago actually because of the corona and stuff. I saw some nice looking leather coats at a Nordstrom's for $99, and I was like, oh my goodness. It wasn't the most stylized leather coat, and again, make sure that leather is not, you got fake leather, pleather, and all these different things. Make sure it looks cool. A lot of times it looks shitty, but you can find great deals, especially in the summer. Again, they may not have as many, but you can find deals. And when you do see a great leather you like, affordably, jump on it. Just get it. The last leather coat I saw was, I think, on Melrose in L.A. I was like, this thing's the shit for me. And I think they wanted $3,500. And I was like, get the F out of here. But, man, that was mint. But if you got the money, buy whatever the hell you want to buy. But, again, I don't look at clothes like that. I would rather spend my money elsewhere. Clothes definitely is a big part of who I am and my identity, and I think it's for a lot of people. Doesn't mean I got to go in debt or go broke because I like that shit. Does that kind of make sense? I like cars, too. That doesn't mean I got to go out, and I like a Ferrari, but that doesn't mean I got to go out and spend $180,000 on a car. So these are things when I think a lot of people don't realize when it comes to buying clothes, you can look really, at least I think they look cool. I don't necessarily know if I look specifically cool in a leather coat, but I definitely love the look, and I don't care what age you are. A leather coat, if it fits correctly and it's kind of in style a little bit, or even vintage, and it works well with you and fits you well, can look really cool. I took a picture with my father, me and my dad both wearing leather coats side by side in Chicago and Hinsdale. And, I had my leather coat on, and he had his vintage leather coat on. And it was just kind of like, the day I realized, you turn into your father. It was kind of the expression that I posted on Facebook or Instagram. But it's, my dad's 75 years old, and he still looks like a badass in a leather coat. And my mother looks like a badass, too, wearing leather coats and leather boots. I was just shopping with her for boots the other day. So, hey, whatever. All right, I'm going to wrap it up there. If you get a chance, check out my website, richcelenza.com. That can kind of link you to everything. I have a book out, Wingman. That's the help men guide. I guess it's a guide to help men find the woman of their dreams. And I have a program that does the same thing. That's masteringselfconfidence.com. I always forget to mention a lot of this stuff. But yeah, what else? I got a podcast, The Rich Celenza Show. I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You get a chance, subscribe. And if you got any questions or anything, let me know. And really, if you can't afford leather, I'll tell you something. Ask your friends, your parents, or your father, if you have one, your siblings, if you got the cousins. Go in their closets and say, hey, man, you got any leather coats? And you'd be shocked because a lot do, and you don't realize that it may fit you and it may be cool and it can at least hold you over. But if you've never tried a leather coat on, man, try it on, especially you young people. I think a lot of us get caught up, and I do too, with the hoodies and all that stuff. I dig that stuff too. But what I'm saying is maybe throw that leather coat on, especially if it's getting a little cold. I don't care if you live in California, the Midwest, the East Coast, even Florida during the winters. You can wear a leather coat as long as it's not super heavy and as long as maybe it's not a full length. But you can pull them off. All right? Don't let anybody kid you, and don't think you got to be a badass or you're kind of coming off like you're going to kick everyone's ass because you're wearing a leather. Get the fuck. Whatever. All right. Take care, and I wish you nothing but the best.